I hope this is gonna be spooky.
It is. The story is only beginning.
That's what they say.
The story of a boy who fought a man too strong.
Fuck you!
And then ran away in fear.
Don't know.
And cried.
Deservedly so.
He cried, but then he died.
Whoa. Oh, whoa.
And that, my friends, was the story of the fat kid who got into a fight with a skateboarder.
Walloped with a skateboard by some skinny, lanky little kid.
Yep.
But to be fair, the context of that video leads me to believe that he was asking for it. Because
I mean, yeah.
It starts out with him going, "Fuck you! Oh, shit! Like that.
Yeah, and you know what? He hit him with a switch. If you try to go at somebody with a switch, of all things,
Well,
not,
yeah, he
not even a
swung-
large stick, just a switch, it'll just wipe you at the worst.
He swung the skateboard like it was a switch
Yeah.
with the mightiest force.
Yeah, he's going to hit me that way. I'm going to hit him this way.
Whip it right across his hip bone / butt cheek just like his daddy would.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't encourage child abuse. This is braincake.
This is braincake, man, and happy Halloween, everybody.
The spoopy edition and the
Ooh.
cursed cake edition,
Of course.
part 3.
Of course.
Only for the fair reason that I say that I cracked my phone before we started recording.
And I cracked my forehead, if you can't tell.
Yeah, he
Got into a little scuffle.
got a haircut.
Yeah, I got a haircut.
They missed.
Barber fucked up bad, but I had to keep going. You
Well,
know what I mean? Had to keep the show going.
Well, I told him not to use the hacksaw, but he insisted.
I bled a lot.
It's good though. You can turn that into like a beautiful scar and a beautiful story to help some survivor. Who knows?
Yeah, right. So what's your story, man? What about your face, man?
Me?
What's going on there?
I'm dead.
You're dead.
Not Mayhem vocalist dead. Not him. Not he is dead, but no, just corpse paint
R.I.P.
general black metal. Well, he shot himself. He Jesus Christ, I'm already burping. He Cobained himself.
Oh, yeah, and then
they like took his skull fragments and made necklaces from them and wore them.
right, yeah,
As anyone would.
yeah.
And I think his suicide note said inside the pentagram or on the whatever the fuck it was, it just said sorry, excuse the mess.
Yeah.
Because he shotgunned his little head off.
Oh man! And didn't they use like a picture of it as album art or something?
It was like a live tour DVD album cover or something like that.
Not like a main album, but like
no, it was like a DVD tour cover art or something. Yeah, it was just like him laying there, dead being dead.
Yeah, that's crazy.
X-rated as fuck, not pornographic, just gory.
Yeah.
And I don't care how spoopy we look. This isn't gory. Kiwi told me earlier on the episode, or earlier off the air, he was like, "Hey man, let's not mention the cartel anymore."
Yeah.
Jimothy says, "Let's do that."
Jimothy did the exact opposite
I
of my
just
request.
did it.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Well, I would just rather not, have the involvement. I would rather just
I highly doubt that they would want. I have no interference in your drug business,
true.
so you have no reason to hurt me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, what are we doing?
literally
we're just some fucks out here doing,
We're some fucks out here in the sticks.
Yeah.
That's apparently getting itself some news coverage. Not where I live, not where we live, but that was my hometown for years.
Yeah.
And God, Fucking Hazard,
Crazy
man.
shit, man.
Hazard. What is it? What is Hazard, Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen?
I don't know, man.
I would definitely I'm not going to speak like I'm.
Plug that in, please.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak like I am prepared on this issue.
Yeah.
Because Hambone broke to be, to tell you just like Hambone told me about it. I hadn't heard anything about what was going on with this Hazard High School or whatever.
Yeah.
But long story short, practically, I guess the principal was getting lap dances
Yeah.
from the basketball team. Is that what I understood?
Yeah. So, with pep rallies, things get a little rowdy. When I was in grade school, I actually remember the guys, the basketball players, dressing up as cheerleaders and running around and giving people high fives and shit. So I don't know where that part of it stands on the scale of being wrong for students to be doing, but they went a little bit beyond that, beyond the cross dressing, which, hey, cross dressing's all right. If that's what you want to do. What do you have to say, Jimothy? You look like you had something pertinent you were urgently wanting to share.
Well, I was over here thinking, you said that you had seen something similar like that whenever you were in school, and I had too. And I just wonder if that's just local to the area, because why would it make such national cut? But then again, what would not bother somebody in this day and age in 2021?
Yeah, if anything, you would think it would be an outrage about the cross-dressing being offensive. Even.
I'm sure. It's a multi-layered offensive treat that everyone can snack on. You know what I mean? It's like a Fifth Avenue bar. You got all sorts of layers of crunchiness. You got some chocolatiness.
Right. It's like an ogre. It has layers.
Yeah.
And another layer being beyond the cross-dressing basketball boys. They also decided to perform lap dances on the teachers.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah.
Normal behavior.
In front of everybody.
Well, I'm assuming it was during something to do with the student body.
Of course.
So,
and the another layer here, beyond that, meanwhile, cheerleaders, they're dressed up in Hooters outfits.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Classic.
they're handing out fake beer.
Look, I love Hooters wings, but I want it to be a woman that serves it to me, not a child in high school. No thanks.
That's hilarious.
Now look, I'm gonna ride a line here.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not, but in their defense, I don't get cross-dressing shit. I don't get it, but I'm not gonna judge you for it. That's not something that I don't know.
It seems like something that would only fly as a joke in a place that isn't very liberal.
Sure, I'm sure it's just this shit in this area. I would say people in these cities, for the most part, it's older people besides these kids, you know what I mean? So you have I don't know, I don't want to say it's a generational gap, but that's kind of where my brain goes to. It's where there's a disconnect somewhere. I don't feel like this would just gain this much friction and attention from news outlets out of nowhere, unless it's just a really slow news day.
Yeah.
But that's really bizarre, man. When you think about why are we doing this in a school environment? And why because if I understand, they were lap dancing the principal. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Him, the teachers.
But isn't he also the mayor?
Exactly.
Of the city? Wow.
I was going to say that. There's another layer to it. The principal who is laughing at these students who are giving him and other teachers lap dances is also the mayor of the fucking town. It sounds like something that would be a Vice piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It honestly sounds like, not to throw an ICP reference in there somewhere, but it reminds me of a song they've done with Zug Island. They say he's the mayor, he's the judge, the mayor, and the clerk or something like that. It's just a random line, but I'm like, and the song is called Small Town.
Right.
And it's like, wow, okay. It's this one person, man. He's the sheriff, he's the fireman, he's the fucking You know,
Here's
he's the
something
town magistrate. I don't know.
I wonder about that is how do you wear all of those hats efficiently? Those are all hats that I want. If you put that hat on, I don't want you trading in and out of being principal and being mayor at the same time. You know what I mean? That seems like a job you need to dedicate just to one.
I said, well, it's just like in a small town. It's like you just hand off all the. Well, I don't know how much power this man has. I mean, he's a fucking mayor of a town of like, what, 5,000 people?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
8,000? And this, if I remember, there was a time, maybe it's probably been 10 years ago at this point, maybe longer than that. I feel like there was a news story also about Hazard that kind of got God damn it, what's the word? Not global, national. There you go, like national coverage.
Yeah.
Of I think a gay couple may have gotten kicked out of the swimming pavilion, and you know,
really?
Yeah, I guess because they were gay. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I feel like I remember that at the time because I can remember browsing topics forums at the time, and I'm like, man. I was just reading the comments, and it's like, ship these people off to an island. That's the best solution. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, man, like I don't understand where the fuck that comes from.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, where's that come from? Like, if somebody's gay, and that's your solution. Like, that's what you think. You can't. Can you seriously believe that? Deep in your soul, like to be that passionate about it, to feel like that's the root solution to take care of a certain sect of people is, I mean, like, what's the difference with like from alienating people to annihilating them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you're doing that, like out of sight, out of mind is literally in the case of human beings, probably the same equivalent of just fucking whacking them off the earth.
Yeah.
Whacking them off.
I mean, it
is, but it isn't.
It's fucked up, man. And I mean, another thing this place was popular for, besides like all the anti-gay, anti-LGBT, whatever shit, like obviously that's the way it is. It's the South. It's the fucking Bible Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Super religious people here who
Sure.
believe that being gay is the devil,
Mm-hmm.
which is hilarious. The devil is the most spooky Halloween creature you could ever imagine, folks.
Mm-hmm. And also,
and you burn in hell forever and ever if you suck a dick.
That's right.
And deservedly so.
Don't give in to your lustful thoughts and ways.
Being sarcastic, by the way, guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Another thing, though, that we're popular for besides that is Perry County being one of the top 10 places in the U.S. for COVID cases.
Also for poverty.
Maybe
not in the top 10, but top 50 counties, I believe.
Also one of the top in like nicotine use and all that shit. Also the most in like prescription abuse. I mean, the list goes on and on of how fucked this area is.
Setting records, all-time bars.
But
they just happen to be down below your toes.
The question is, how does this happen? How does this happen to a place like us? You know what I mean? Why don't we deserve like proper education, proper health? Why is it that we make stupid decisions in this area? Why are there so many addicts in this area? Why are there so many bigots in this area? Like, what can we do to change it?
I think it's generational. I don't think there's not going to be an overnight cure for something like that. You have places like that in any state you'd go to. Towns just like Hazard.
Not every town is a success story.
No, and a lot of towns.
America is built on small towns.
But you think in these areas, they're very mountainous regions. I mean, the Blue family came from nearby this region for a reason. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, you mean like you're a result of inbreeding. Have some motherfuckers that are blue walking around. Literally blue.
These people look like Smurfs because they are so inbred.
Yes. And that is a result of not being able to leave the mountains. or not wanting to go out any further out of the mountains. Settled right where they were, right where they were. You got to think, man, like a place like Hazard as well, not even connected to an interstate by any connect. Like you have to drive almost an hour and a half to get to the nearest interstate, so you could travel the rest of the country if you wanted to. The interstate could take you all around the country. Just stay on it.
Yeah.
You're going to end up somewhere. You can't
Not
do
here.
that. You can't do that. If you're off the interstate, way far away from it, you're separated. It's almost like you're not connected to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
And it feels that way in terms of poverty. That's why you have a lot of coal mining areas, and people just would rather do that and get black lung and not like try to go further and just go on this source that's being depleted. That's not going to be around forever.
Yeah.
But we want to keep it because we don't want to change. And people don't want change. People don't like change.
Mm-hmm.
No one does, no matter how much. I mean, like, change is good, no matter how you feel about it. No matter how anxious it may make you, change is a good thing. Right. It's needed. You have to have it. There's no growth if you can't change and adapt.
Yeah. But, you know,
and
on
some
the
places.
On the flip side, like, this area, its denial of modern things in general is both a blessing and a curse, because in one way, the simplicity of this area, you know, the relaxed kind of lifestyle that you can have here, you can like walk out on your porch naked and not have anybody live around you. You know, you have privileges that you don't have in a bigger city.
Sure.
And people are probably a little more nice here because you're not at each other's throats, because you're always in traffic with people and bumping into people on the streets. It's not so overpopulated that it's a hassle. And so people can take things slower and have a better time.
I think that's also why a good chunk of people from these regions don't succeed in city settings, because city tempo is so much fast paced. It's way more fast paced than like fucking strolling around like with a country bumpkin, you bumping into them every mile or two.
Yeah. I mean, there's a statistic. I'm sure anybody who listens to this podcast probably realizes or, you know, thinks that we're slow talking motherfuckers. And there's a statistic
You've
out
not
there.
met Slack-jawed, by the way.
Right. Y'all don't even know how slow it gets.
Holy fuck.
But, fuck.
You done it.
No, hold on.
Bum, 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 bum. Where's your goddamn button? Come on, bro. Hell yeah.
We're just going to do this every time we forget something.
You have
It's like a game show moment. Can he remember it? Will he get the points?
Hopefully he gets the points. How many points? Oh, shit. Booyah!
We're slow talking. Okay.
Slow talking, slow thinking, buddy.
But there's a statistic about how the speed in which people walk and the speed at which the people talk is directly related. So, like, in New York, they talk faster, they walk faster, you know? Like,
they're more advanced.
and I fucking said that like they're the Terminator. New Yorkers are the Terminator. They're fucking faster. They're more advanced than us. And that's another thing, man.
But that would make sense. I could see that because this area has never advanced.
It's true. We don't have most of the high speed internet, for example.
It's been like fuck, dude. There's
It's
some
still
places,
not great high speed internet around these parts.
There's some places just maybe as recent as 5 or 6 years ago just started to get high speed internet.
ask
water.
Jer, man.
Running water.
Jer grew up in a fucking American Hollow documentary. You know,
The documentary raised him.
the documentary raised his ass when he was sitting in the sink getting bathed because there wasn't no fucking, I guess, other place to bath him, or maybe they just like bathing him in the sink. But
Well, no, they didn't have running water.
see,
That was rainwater.
they didn't have running water.
They would collect rainwater.
Yeah.
When he was growing up, I mean, like that's his story to tell. That's not for me to tell.
Right.
But that's just my point. Like, I mean, like, I'm not gonna say those areas are like that now. They're not.
Not completely.
Not completely, but
those
these
areas are not going to catch up all at once.
These areas are generally, they've been abandoned by their government. They've been abandoned by their God. They've been abandoned by everything under the sun. God's country, God left it behind.
Yeah.
Is the way it feels. These areas feel hopeless. For younger generations, I can't speak for older generations. Older generations don't care, man. They just want to be in a place where they can relax. They don't have to worry about anything. They want to settle down, slow down. That's fine. That is fine. But I feel like the younger generations, it's changing. It's starting to change. Influence of the internet definitely has a lot to do with it, because where it wasn't available at such a speed, now that everybody is so connected, as opposed to like 15, 20 years ago. I don't know, man.
And this generation seems to be more connected with the rest of the world than ever before, which is so good for an area like this, which is so not diverse, an area that is so far spread with nothing, though. You know, a lot of land with no fucking opportunity. You know, and
a lot of land, no opportunity, no job opportunities.
Right.
No, there's no outside of retirement, and just
having you know, I don't know. Anyway.
But what I was gonna say, with the internet bringing everybody together like that, a mayor / principal cannot be shocked when something like this comes to surface and it's gonna bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
Because sure, maybe this happened when you went to school, when I went to school. You and I are a generation apart. We're a generation apart. We both experienced stuff like that. I was never cross-dressing or seeing people in Hooters outfits. I never saw that. But I had seen some like questionable, weird things like that. You know, like you said, pep rallies, or just stuff like the school was orchestrating. But it was a different time. Not to excuse it as that. Just, I mean, like, but that's just the facts. Like, it was a different time period. Things that are accepted now just were not accepted or the norm then.
Right.
With the internet, as I said, that brings all this to the surface. Everybody can see, like, oh, you know, there's all sorts of people out there in this world. To areas like this, they hit, you know, let's be real. Areas like this generally don't see anybody outside of themselves.
No.
Like, no other ethnicities, no other religious belief types. I mean, nothing like that.
No sexuality.
And
no other sexualities. And if you do show another sexuality, or if you're transgender,
you're going to have
shunned.
to look, you're going to deal with the judgment every day. I mean, you're going to deal with that anywhere else.
Or you leave.
Yeah. Or you keep it to yourself.
Right.
Keep it to yourself.
And die inside every fucking day. Like a lot of people do here.
So, if you see, like, that's just what I think it is. That's why I say I think it's a generational gap, man. Like, this is just shit that still happens here that is not going on in the rest of the country.
Right.
It's just not going on. So when the rest of the country catches video of weird shit like this, and you got to think, it's not, like, if it was seniors, it's still fucking weird, and morally, that's what you're questioning here, is the morality.
Right.
Like, how okay is this? And me personally, I don't think it's okay. Mostly for the fact that, like, first of all, you're a grown man. Like, it's one thing if they were doing this shit to each other, but then you would be looking at it at a different scope. Like, can you believe what that principal allowed? Let them dress up as, like, cross-dress and Hooters outfits and letting them lap dance each other. But at least they're fucking lap dancing each other, not some fucking grown man.
Yeah.
That shit's weird. I don't care if they're 17 or 18. At that point, they can make that choice. You know what I mean? Like, legally, they can do that if they want to. But that ain't the only thing in high school.
Right.
You have freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
Juniors, you know, 14, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's illegal.
Yeah.
That's why? That's what I can see perfectly why this is national news. Like, if you know, think of your experience. You don't have the experience of anybody else in the country. I don't know if this is all over the country. People would do this shit, right? But
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But if this is abnormal, which I believe it would be,
yeah,
because this is a fucked up area. It just is.
Somebody tell us if this is normal. Would
Like,
your
straight
school do this?
up.
Like, comment, please, what your school did for pep rallies. Did the boys dress up? And
Like, yeah, was there,
dance
like,
on
any-
the fucking teachers? Like, did that ever happen?
Yeah,
Is
was there any bizarre scenarios you can recall? Like, for real, like, is there any bizarre scenarios you can recall that you look back now on it now, you're like, maybe that wasn't right.
yeah.
Maybe there was something. Now, do I think this man has devious intent? I don't know.
Right.
But
Right. I've seen some people covering this story who go the route that he's a pervert. And
I mean, well, gasp. Sky's blue, ocean is too.
I mean, right.
Was this his idea, though?
That's what I'm saying.
I wish I knew more about this man himself.
Well,
That would tell a lot.
there was, and God forbid, I'm gonna fuck this up. Somebody's gonna hate me for it.
Please
I'm
fuck
sorry,
it up, baby.
But
Please fuck it
I'm
up.
pretty sure at some point he got into some trouble because he was pulled over where he was driving his daughter who was underage and drinking in the car with her friends. So, I mean, that's a little weird, and I think a few issues like that have occurred that are similar, but I don't know enough. So,
Very well could. I mean, like, this is enough to bring your character into question a little bit.
yeah. And
I mean, for fuck's sake, I mean, if you're seeing this, think about it from an outside perspective. If you're seeing this, it's already weird. But this man's responsible for children.
yeah.
He's responsible for students
Yeah.
under 18, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this is a man you want to, like, if he's a pervert, you would want to know that, especially with children.
Yeah. Right.
That's 100% the point, and I think that's why this has gotten the attention that it has. Because Hooters, when you think Hooters, you're going to associate that with tits.
Yeah.
You're just going to. You're going to think of fucking big tittied women giving you fucking chicken wings.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Hopefully
indeed.
some Gene Snitsky chicken. wings.
No, boom.
4 pounds of chicken.
You need
It's
4.
just a snack for me. Just saying.
He's a big dude.
I'm a
Holy
bodybuilder, so I need a fuck
thing's
ton of
enormous.
chicken. Slam this shit in the pressure cooker.
smokes. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah, a lot of
Now my
chicken.
favorite.
Blowing a load in the chicken.
I want Hooters wings. Look, man,
Goddamn.
I don't give a shit. Hooters wings are awesome. They're straight up.
I've never had Hooters.
God, let's go to Hooters.
I always
real.
just felt like it would be too weird because I'm like, I don't want to be biting what my focus is on between
I think it's stereotyped.
eating and ass and titties. You know, I don't need ass and titties on the side of my meal.
It's just a sports
Like,
bar.
am I supposed to look at the girls sexually? Am I not supposed to? Like, what's the social rule there?
I'm sure, like, for the manly man kind of guy,
Yeah.
like, they're going to go in there and be like, fuck yeah, dude, there's ass and titties in here. And there's some chicken wings. Dude, this is heaven. And sports
I
on
didn't know Random Hero was going into the fucking Hooters, man.
the game's on the TV up there, man. The fucking beer's in my hand, and the ass and titties is over there with my wings. And I want them. But
Check this out.
But I go in there, man. I'm like, sure, these ladies look nice, and sure, I mean, like, I'm a dude. I'm a straight male, so of course I'm going, misogynistic or not, I'm going to check you out. That's life. That's what it be. I'm human. I'm sorry. Excuse me for having emotions and feelings. Making sure my organs work.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah. So the reason I'm being silent over here and you're having to banter for me, which I appreciate,
I would love that.
is because while we're on the topic of Hooters, and maybe we should just go ahead and wrap up any final thoughts on that before we move on to this.
I will just say it is a topic I do want to revisit with more information.
Right.
Because I do think more is going to come out on this. This is a story that's in progression. And we're not a topical show usually.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, like I said earlier.
It hits close to home, literally.
Well, this was, like I said, it's my hometown.
Right.
It's my hometown. I mean, like,
And we're not used to having this kind of spotlight on this area.
but
you
it's
know?
a spotlight that
As
I would
far as
expect.
I'm concerned, like I thought nobody even knew we existed, you know?
But that's the thing.
Now they do.
Now they do.
And that's
If they
this
didn't
is their
remember
first impression of us.
If they didn't remember other news stories of the past, they're going to remember this one, at least for a while, until the next outrage happens, and then we think about something else.
Yeah.
But this is a progressing story, and I'm very interested in to see what is going to come out about this because, like I said, story and progression. We're going to hit the save button on that one, and we're going to turn the game off and come back to it later and load up that save file, and we're going to dive back into that, hopefully.
Indeed.
Maybe with more humanoids on the on the show, possibly.
Yeah.
But this is spoopy time, god damn it. We need to be doing something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, instead of like anything spoopy, I mean, this is spoopy in its own right. I don't know if this is going to be a guy. No, it's going to be a guy reacting to it.
Why, sure. That's what.
Please stop, man. God damn it.
God
what does it
damn
look
it,
like?
YouTube.
What does it look like?
We didn't want to find people like us.
You and egging you like this dude.
This guy isn't us.
No.
We're cool.
We're much cooler than
We're the
him,
best.
bro. Like, I can't believe. Like, okay, so I'm good. I'm trying to. If I can get this shit, if I can find what I need to find.
Cursed Cake 3, folks.
Absolutely.
Magic everywhere in this bitch.
Lack of magic, actually. Lack of magic. Fucking lack of.
Jesus!
Lack of all of that. I'm surprised I got the right button. I'm proud of me. I picked the right button on the mixer, folks. Oh, happy days, happy days. I look like a corpse.
You
And my
really need to
face.
break out those skills, man, of
My
the
face is
solo
itching.
banter. You used to could go, man. For
I
all
used
by
to could
yourself.
go.
No,
I
I'm-
used to could go.
Hey, man, calm down, man.
Jesus!
Okay.
I'm not saying.
Oh, are
used
you
to
saying like years ago?
Yeah,
I
you
could
did
do like
solo shows, man.
30, 40-minute solo shows. I almost done one while you were on vacation,
Really?
but I just couldn't make myself do it. I was like, I don't know, man. I got to be jazzy as fuck to be able to throw down for 40 minutes. I could do it. Just let me spill about 5 paragraphs worth. I just speak it really slow. I throw an advertisement in there every 10 seconds.
Alrighty, so
Okay.
let's just start from here.
Okay, what is
This
that?
guy, have you ever seen the show Undercover Boss?
You should know by now the answer to this is
No?
no.
Okay, yeah, you don't watch much TV. So, Undercover Boss is a show where people in high positions in companies go undercover.
I mean, I think I get the premise. Like they go undercover at their own store
Yes,
or something.
exactly. And this guy is the main dude for Hooters. And
Basically,
so-
a nightmare for people that talk shit about their bosses when their
Yeah.
bosses aren't around.
And then at the end, it's revealed, that he was the fucking head of the company, and now you're fired, bitch.
They say, "Surprise, bitch!
Yeah.
Surprise!"
And you're on TV, haha.
It's a double gotcha.
But this is Hooters, man, and this is so shocking to me. So I want to show it to you.
Okay, well, show me them Hooters.
Coming up, Jimbo's management style
Oh,
terrifies Kobe.
What I saw in there just got me quite aggravated.
I just want to pull him by his ear over to the side and say, hey, you can't do that.
And later, Kobe discovers
Well,
he's still living in his
I think
father's
the
shadow.
You sound too much.
I could see his erection from here, and it didn't even go to his shorts. I could feel
Kobe
his
Brooks,
erection
president
from
and
here.
CEO
That's
of
creepy,
Hooters, has
man.
found
His
a manager
erect,
who
like
he
his,
thinks
I
is way
guarantee you,
out
he had a
of line.
rock hard
He
boner.
continues
I
to
got an
shift
aura
with
from that
Jimbo.
shit.
Oh my god.
Maybe that makes me
no.
like. Does that make me like super gay if I got an erection aura?
I don't know.
I think you just like. Maybe he's got that front walk, man. He had that front walk going on, like where
What's a front walk?
the waist up comes forward, so the boner doesn't protrude as
Oh
much.
no.
Use your hands.
Look,
Okay.
he's making them do a competition where they're eating baked beans
Come on, girl. Who wants to go home?
with their hands behind their back to get to see who gets to go home early tonight.
Oh yeah, this is like some Dan Schneider fucking school of.
Who doesn't want to spend the rest
I
of
don't
the
know
evening
what
with
the
me?
fuck.
It's hard for me
Hey,
on this
man.
one to bite my tongue.
They should be
Maybe if
happy
I
they're
could
getting
break
some
up, I would
beans.
sit down and have a very honest talk with Jimbo.
This
They
would
probably
fly in
didn't-
Eastern Kentucky, man.
Yeah,
Bring
actually-
Hooters to Hazard. Hashtag bring Hooters to Hazard.
They were wrong.
Actually, this might be their lunch break. It could be their lunch break. Like It's a humiliating lunch break.
Absolutely.
We're going to turn your lunch break into a game, ladies. I'm going to serve you all some fucking beans, and I want you to eat it with your hands behind your back. Eat it like a bunch of little piggies. Eat it like a bunch of little piggies for me.
And whoever eats their bowl the fastest gets to go home early. But doesn't that sound good?
No,
You
actually,
I
that
can
sounds
offer
like
you
a
less.
nightmare.
I can offer you less labor if you play in my game.
That I'm gonna totally beat off to later.
I'm totally getting off to this right now, watching you eat these beans with your face.
Hey, girl, you put in an application at the Hooters recently, and I seen that your number was on the application. After you left, thought I'd give you a call and see what's up. You want to come eat some beans with your hands tied behind your back at my restaurant?
You want to come? You want to come out and get some dinner? Maybe come back to my place and I can put a leash on you and walk you around on your hands and knees and make you eat out of a dog bowl. You fucking worthless bitch.
Oh wow.
You know, I need that power. I need to feel that domination over somebody because I've never had any power in my life. I have an authority complex.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me show you how you can give yourself power.
Please tell me.
Ric Flair, fuel in a bottle energy
God
commercial.
damn it. Kiwis went to Jimothy School of fucking cool ass segues.
Dun 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 dun.
Magic everywhere in this bitch.
Jimothy rules.
Jimothy rules. Yeah, so Ric Flair.
Let me get one of those energy shots.
Fuel in a bottle energy.
Woo! You're about to get robbed. Hey, listen,
Oh, you about to get? He said you about to get robbed, bro.
vitamins. It'll rock your world.
It'll rock your world.
It rocks me. Rocks my body.
Fuel a bottle energy shot. We'll get you through
He
the
just
day.
metamorphosizes out of air.
He's like Raiden.
Woo! And no crap.
Yeah.
Fuel in a bottle
He's his
bottle
own
shot.
too.
It puts the woo in my woo.
God, I don't know if that energy drink is still around anymore, but how could you beat that as a slogan? It puts the woo in my woo.
Yeah, I mean, and-
Simple, effective.
But you know what's sad is I've never seen that anywhere. So
I've not either.
maybe it wasn't as effective of a marketing tool as
Maybe it's like
you
some-
think it is. You know,
Maybe it's
sadly.
like some Jay-Z alcohol. It's very limited and select.
About to sneeze.
Sneeze, bitch. God. You would do that. You would fuck the kid. Wait, with the you'd play the fuck you kid with the skateboard. Jesus. My God.
Sorry, I'm out of control with
What-
the soundboard.
What a Freudian slip. It's okay. It's your soundboard. You paid the money for it. Fuck it. You can fucking play piano on it for all I care.
That's true, man.
I mean, like, I'd rather you not do that while we're recording just for professionalism's sake, but I feel like you're going to defy that. Yep, you're defying that as we speak. God damn.
Just hitting the buttons, man.
Jesus!
We're trying to have a...
Just having a good time, man.
Jesus!
You look like a good time. You know what else is a good time?
What?
Oblivion NPCs, and we've not had one in a long time.
Fantastic, man. We need a good Oblivion NPC to
Yeah.
bring it back.
Yeah, we got like we spent a little bit on a serious topic for once. We need to get back into fun time.
Right.
Some non-topical fun.
Yeah, non-topical.
This Oblivion NPC. It's just titled Conversation and Battle. And I'm not sure. I just see from the still shot at the beginning of this video, there's two gentlemen talking next to a brick wall. I'm going to assume this is some store corner or something. Guy's got a bag, but he also looks homeless, but I'm not real sure.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Conversation and battle.
I don't care about going to the shop. That's what I heard. Hey, Joe,
Uh-oh.
look here.
Oh,
You taking my picture.
Oh, shit.
oh my! Oh shit! He's getting aggressive right now.
What?
He's taking a video, man. He's not taking a picture.
What's that? It's a video.
What?
Why you videoing him? You know him?
Oh shit! Oh god, this really is like a pursuit in fucking Oblivion.
Hold on, stay right there.
Oh, shit, man. No, he can't go anywhere.
Uh-oh.
The homeless guys, I don't know. Maybe these guys are dudes. Like,
I don't think most people wear a trench coat with no shirt under it for style. I think this man is.
That's why you walking with me.
We'll take your nuts after your video.
So dead. It's just like dead eyes.
A lot of dead brain happening here.
Absolutely. Nice artwork in the background, though.
Yeah, the graffitis are like the most beautiful thing here.
Yeah, if you can just focus on that.
He's getting. He could have video me or not. He's trying to film him back. Oh, he's pissing.
Oh my God! What? He's just started pissing on the beautiful graffiti. The one. Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no!
You freak!
Oh my God!
He's pissed. Why are you filming him?
Why is he filming? It's a great question. Is this guy in the right or the wrong? Oh no!
Uh oh,
dude.
You pissing.
Oh.
Do you suck dick? Do you suck dick? Do you suck dick? Do you suck dick?
Oh no! It's so. Why is he so angry?
Are you a freak?
Are you a
freak?
You like sucking dick?
What are you?
You like sucking dick?
Yeah. Are you a homosexual? Are you a homosexual?
Oh shit! He just threw that sign at him. Thank. Oh, it's over. Don't bother. Don't bother.
What the? What?
I don't know, man.
I think we just entered.
Oh no!
We just entered into the Twilight Zone, man.
Fucking Foxworthy got. He keeps trying to come back every time.
Fuck.
Dude, why was he was way too aggressive about that. You like sucking dick? You like sucking dick?
He asked him a lot of the times. The guy never answered the question. It might
you
have
a freak?
avoided some frustration if he would have just answered the question, yes or no. Does he suck dick? They could have moved on. You know.
This is context.
Context always important. Why was the guy filming these two guys? I mean, is it normal to just walk up to two guys who were hanging out on the street and film them up close?
How long had he been filming?
Right.
Well, did he just literally turn the camera on? He's like, oh,
just walk.
These
up
guys
to
look
two
like
people?
Looks like I control these gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
Then he turns. But why was he filming him pissing though? Like, did the guy just like decide he wanted to pee and he accidentally caught him, or he's like, I'm gonna turn it around?
To be honest, if I was filming that, if I was already in that deep in the situation, you might as well record.
Just
the
go
guy
for the
peeing.
troll, man. Just go for God status when it comes to it.
I mean, that's so strange though, to just whip out your dick and start pissing on the wall in the middle of an altercation.
Well, it's better than the guy I saw at that Dying Fetus show I went to recently that took off his shoes in the middle of the pit where there's nothing but beer and everything else there. He's barefoot running around the pit. Like, are you fucking psychotic?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He is both psychotic and reckless.
Reckless, abandoned.
In
He had
so
to have
many
been so
ways.
hammered.
Talk about stepping on Legos. I mean, how about getting stomped on by the boots?
This is like getting beat to death by heavy Legos. This is you being the Lego and everybody else is the foot. Except
I'm the foot bitch.
I'm the foot bitch. Except it's like, well, actually, it might be like getting trampled by cleats. There you go.
Yep. And I don't like it when things don't go my way.
Oh man, no jumping, Jeff. Go away, jumper. You jumping motherfucker. Nobody wants anything to do with you. Maybe jumping Jeff would have. Maybe if he had a little bit of weight on him and a little bit of corpse paint, maybe he could have been a great wrestler.
I don't know, man. I don't think any of that gives him what he needs to be a good wrestler.
He's got to have the rock juice.
The rock juice, yeah. That's he's got to get a hold of some rock juice and turn into the Rock, or at least develop some qualities.
He's got to lay on his back and just let the Rock's sweat that drips off his ass cheeks when he's exercising into a cup. Steve-O style from Jackass #3 when he drunk Preston Lacey's sweat juice.
Yeah, but I feel like when Jumpin' Jeff Farmer uses his juice, like his body definitely will reject it, but in a really powerful way. Like it's going to be Resident Evil style. He's going to turn into a boss fight.
He's going to turn into like a liquor.
Like he's going to have to be put down by the main character. who I assume is us.
Probably. What's your favorite Resident Evil? The video games, not the movies.
Okay.
Let's not talk about the movies.
Yeah, the movies are questionable.
Well, a good time as any to ask you about Resident Evil. It is Halloween.
For sure. I would say Resident Evil 5 holds a very special place in my heart. It is the one that I've spent the most time on. I love the Mercenaries. I always played it with my buds. We had a fucking killer time doing that. Spent many, many hours and went through the campaign so many times.
You guys played a lot of like multiplayer on Resident Evil 5, didn't you?
Yeah, we played the multiplayer too, the online where you actually fought other people. It was not very intuitive. In fact, it was pretty frustrating a lot of the times. But
that's that's kind of the deal with Resident Evil cameras and controls, anyways. Like they're made to be like that to build that anticipation, that anxiety, that terror, that helplessness.
Well, I think a lot of people actually would shit on me for picking Resident Evil 5 as my favorite because I think a lot of traditional Resident Evil fans, the original ones, are like, we don't like that style because it's way more of an action game than it is a horror game.
Sure, but it's still got its horrifying moments. I mean, 4 is kind of like that, but 4 is one of the most beloved in the franchise.
Right, that would be my second place.
And 4 is when they really first started to change like the overall feel of those games, because 5 is where I checked out. I played 6. I hated 6. Did not like it.
6 was, it was not one of my favorites.
2 is my all-time hands down favorite. Outbreak being my number 2. I love Resident Evil Outbreak.
Yeah, that's a unique pick, I think. I don't know if that's a beloved one or not.
I think it's probably in that camp of people didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and it's not like main characters.
No,
right?
no. This is like, it's an offshoot Resident Evil, so to speak. It's kind of like Resident Evil Survivor, but Survivor was garbage.
You run into an alley and fight the first zombie, and it's awful. You shoot him 4 times, he falls awkwardly and shits a key out. Seriously, look at it. It comes out of his ass. You know, I'm starting to notice a trend here. The zombie shits out a key, the helicopter shits out the main character, and Capcom shit out this game.
Survivor was the one that was like a... what is the mode? It's like, it's first person. Yeah, it was the first person Resident Evil. I don't know if it's the only one in the franchise, but it was the first one.
Which, speaking of that, the Resident Evil, I can't remember which one it is. Might be 7, might be 8. The most recent, or the recent one that is first person, where it's like you get a thing about your girlfriend who what you thought was
not like Biohazard or
gone
anything,
for sure.
is it?
You go try to save her from this random address you get in a piece of mail.
Honestly, there's so many of those titles anymore.
Like this creepy family, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre style.
I don't know if I'm familiar. Honestly, I don't know if I'm familiar with this one.
It's actually pretty good. Like, to be a first-person Resident Evil game,
I'm gonna have to look it up.
They do that style well too.
I've actually been kind of wanting to get into horror games, and I'm not even into that. I don't even like horror movies.
Yeah.
Horror music, maybe, sure.
I actually could almost get more into horror games than movies because it's rare that I find a horror movie that actually scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Horror games, though, I get fucking...
It's because you're immersed in it. I mean, like, you're controlling the outcome practically.
When you're watching a movie, you're just looking at the characters and like, these guys are dumbasses, you know?
Yeah.
That's not what I would do. Why would you go in there? But when you're playing a game, you are the guy.
Yeah, either that or you pop in some movie like a Serbian film, which at that point, it's not even horror. It's just fucking disturbed.
Yeah.
And bizarre and fucking just outright controversial and offensive for fuck's sake.
Yeah. No, I think there's a difference between...
I mean, like obviously, yeah, there's going to be your layers.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to watch a horror movie, I want to watch one that's kind of psychological.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like, I would much rather do that. I'm not about the jump scare shit. I'm not about, like... Gore's okay. Like, my guilty pleasure is the Saw movies, and I like all of them.
I understand that.
Except
I like
Jigsaw.
Saw.
I fucking hated Jigsaw. But I liked all of them for them. I don't know why. I don't even like gore movies. But those, I think it was just like the traps were clever and so fucking, like, they're just fucked up.
Yeah.
I was just like intrigued by them.
You're impressed by
Yeah,
the
like,
kills.
I think it's the creativity I'm impressed by.
Well, you know, to be honest, when it comes to things like that, like, I'm not really a fan of Jason movies, man, because I'm like, it's just not interesting to me the way he kills.
But see, that's the thing. Those movies were just made for the kill counts. Like, that's why people were going to the theaters to see them. They're like, you know, how many fucking bodies is Jason going to pile up this time?
Yeah.
You know, it ain't like anybody was like rooting for the fraternity to, you know, or whatever they are, the camp counselors.
Yeah, nobody was rooting for the victims.
I love obnoxious teenagers that just want to fucking drink and have sex and just be loud and deserve to get killed by this fucking demonoid phenomenon.
Yeah.
Demonoid phenomenon.
Sounds like a Rob Zombie song.
That is a Rob Zombie song, demonoid phenomenon. That's all right. But I will say Resident Evil 2 is my favorite of the series.
Which,
just to jump back to it for a second.
What happens in that?
That's the one where I think it's Leon. You're using Leon Kennedy. It's oh my God. What is the place? Raccoon City. Like, you're right outside the police department when it happens.
Oh.
That's the first place you really investigate is the police department.
They recently remade that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They recently had just made a remaster of that not too long back.
I played that, and man, that's one of those examples of
great.
Games where you're scared.
Yeah, 2 is horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, it truly is to me. Whenever I first played it, I remember playing the first Resident Evil when it was like a demo. I don't know if it was a demo, but I can remember renting it whenever I was I probably wasn't even 13, 12, 13. That, like, Resident Evil 1, it freaked me out. That first cutscene where you find the first zombie where he's turning his head. Like, it looks goofy as shit now, but I played that in the dark for the first time. When I first played it, pitch dark in my room, like, oh, fuck. My skin crawled. I can remember that. But, well, shit, man. Why even limit to Resident Evil? Like, what is your favorite horror game ever?
Well,
your personal favorites. Doesn't have to be what you think is the greatest. Just your personal favorites. I mean, like, my window is not very big on that because you're probably like me. You've not played too many horror games in your life. You've played a handful. A good chunk enough that you could reference some.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious.
Well, I'll say this is not my favorite, but one of the ones that stands out most to me is Clock Tower. And
Clock Tower.
That's
the first one.
The one with the doll.
Scissor Man. Oh, I think that's Clock Tower 2. I believe it's 2, Curse of the Doll or something like that.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I ever seen that. I never even played it. I just watched you play it when I was pretty young, man. Probably like 10 years old. No, younger.
Probably younger than that.
Younger. I think I lived at my old house, so I was like 6.
Oh, wow. Traumatized early.
Yeah, young man. And that was one of my first nightmares that I ever had was about that doll.
Totally understandable, man. Like, the first Clock Tower was one of the first horror games I ever experienced. I watched a friend of mine in middle school play the first Clock Tower, and I was petrified for him watching it because it was just this giant scissor man come around. Like, is a point and click game. And I think all of them were point and click horror games.
Yeah.
But like, you just hear the and he could pop up from literally fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
And that point and click gives you that dread that you get, like, clicking like a motherfucker. You're like, go, 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 go.
Yes. God, fuck.
Like, it's like simple but effective.
Right. What I was gonna say earlier, one of the things that is immersive and scary about a video game compared to a movie, can just scare you, boom, like in an instant. But
Yeah.
a movie can't replicate the fear of running away from something in a video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those moments in horror games where you're running from something, that's when your adrenaline is pumping. Your
Yeah.
heart's racing. You're like, oh my God, I don't want to get fucking caught.
Like there was a game called Monstrum. It's been out for a few years, but god damn, it was horrifying like that. It's like chase sequences, like when you really don't want something to get a hold of you. Those are the biggest, those are the scariest moments to me in any horror game, is the chase.
Yes.
Like, because most likely you're always going to feel like you're running in a dream. Because like whatever it is always faster than you.
Yeah.
Always faster than you. You're gonna feel like you're running through the ocean.
Yes. You're gonna be, and another thing that makes horror games so scary, your vulnerability. Horror games, and this is the reason why a lot of people would say that
Really good
Resident
ones.
Evil turned more into an action series, because as it went on, Resident Evil 5, like, you had more ammo. You know, ammo was everywhere. Like, you didn't have to worry.
Herbs were everywhere. You could heal easy. You could replenish your ammo easy. It's not about as survival as much as it is just like pow, 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 pow.
Yep.
You're not worried about survival anymore. The earlier Resident Evil titles made you feel helpless.
Yes.
Made you feel helpless. And that's what I think that's a mark of a lot of good horror games, is if they can establish that feeling of hopelessness.
Yes.
In a horror game, that's a key element, I would think, is, man, I don't, like, if I go into it, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna beat this motherfucker. I'm gonna come out this clean on the other side.
It's not
That's
scary.
not scaring me. But if I'm going into it like trepidatious, like, and just, feel like I'm walking on eggshells throughout the entire game, because I'm like, I don't want to startle this. Even though you're like, it's going to be programmed to be there. You're like,
Yeah.
in your head, you're like, maybe I could do something about it. Hopelessness sets in. You're fucked. You're fucked. It should establish an air of despair and hopelessness and just whatever it is. I mean, like, it's not a horror game, but a game like Dante's Inferno sets such a good tone for what hell feels like.
Yeah.
So multi-layered, so demented.
Yeah.
Just like endless. Feels endless. Feels like true despair. Feels like a true void of hopelessness. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you get my point. I'm beating a dead horse.
No. I mean, you're right. Like, hopelessness. Like, I mean, Outlast is one of those games to me that is terrifying, because you're vulnerable. You're always running from something. And I was going to go somewhere with that specifically. But there's one point where, like, you get caught by this guy who, of course, you're running from. You get caught and everything, and it's just like a cut scene. And, like, I can't remember exactly what happens, but he ends up actually, like, cutting your hand off. You know what I mean?
Christ.
He, like, actually, and your character's, like, writhing in pain, and you somehow get away. But it's like,
That gives me like some House of Wax flashback.
I'm just playing as a guy who got his fucking hand cut off. You know what I mean? Can you get any more vulnerable?
Yeah, like, that's just like, hey man, hate to kind of kick you when you're down. You gotta lose some fingers, bro. You might lose a hand. The game that probably made me feel the most like that hopelessness is The Suffering. That's probably my if I was to give you maybe my favorite all-time horror game.
I'm pretty sure that ranks up there, like, objectively.
What do you mean?
Like, I think The Suffering is actually on a lot of top horror games list, of all time.
I mean, if that's the case, I will definitely not argue with it. Even with my limited experience, that game, you talk about a hopeless feeling when you're set in a prison, like a horror game that is set in a prison where a tornado or a hurricane or something kills the power. It's like Alcatraz style. The prison's on an isolated island to itself. So you're on an island where the storm has destroyed the electricity, and these alien, like demonic forces are in this prison stalking and just fucking ripping into prisoners that are around trying to survive this shit itself. And it's like, it's already one thing to try to escape a prison because there's already like, you're trapped for life, right? Like if you're in a penitentiary place like that's on an island, like an Alcatraz, you're there.
There's no escape.
There's no escape. It's meant to be unescapable because even if you escape the prison, you still have all this ocean to get through. All this big body of water. Good luck drowning. Or good luck not drowning, sir. Just deal with that. So, and the character you're playing as, he's in prison for murdering his infant child and his wife. But he doesn't remember it.
Oh, man.
So, and the game has multiple endings. So
Weird
depending on
psychological element to it as well.
So like, are you even playing as a fucking person that's even worth saving? Like even, but that's right. If he was bad. Like depending on your ending, you find out what happened to them, and I think depending on the ending you got was what actually happened. So either he might have killed them or somebody else might have killed them, but like he didn't remember any of it. It was like he's blacked out, and the next thing he knew, he's like, he's going to prison because his family was dead. Found him dead. I don't know, man. It's a great game. Even The Thing. I love The Thing.
I was thinking of that.
Based off the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great game. Just because the element of like you not knowing who's infected with it and when they're going to turn on you. You had everybody had trust meters or something, like how much you could trust this person on your team versus the other one. Like you'd be suspicious of them, like they're going to turn any time. And if they did, they were hard as fuck to kill. Flamethrowers was
awesome.
like, you had to have flamethrowers usually, otherwise you wouldn't kill these fuckers. And I'm so happy that I have a PS2 that works because I think that will be what I do for the rest of my Halloween. I will play The Thing and maybe actually try to beat it.
Hell yeah.
It's
dude,
a day off from work. I think that would be great as fuck to even, like, God, talk about a trip down memory lane.
Nostalgia, and let me tell you something also, playing horror games gives you that feeling that you want when you play a video game. You want to be engaged. You want to be immersed.
Yeah.
You want to have an emotional response. We have talked about on the show before and personally that sometimes gaming nowadays, it's hard for us to get into.
Can't connect to it like we used to.
Yeah.
And I want to partially blame age and just growing up as part of that. But at the same time, games really do feel way larger now than they ever did. Mm-hmm. And they lose that intimacy along the way somewhere.
But horror games, they're so tight. They're so intimate. They're not multiplayer, most of them. They're just you and
it's meant to be a singular experience, man. It's not meant to be shared with other people. Unless it's like a zombie slayer type game, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's different.
Which, by the way, Left 4 Dead, one of the greatest horror games of all time.
Left 4 Dead is great.
Not scary,
if you want to,
though.
that's what I'm saying. If you want to consider it horror, it's a shooter, but it's with horror elements.
Yeah,
might be a more appropriate way to say it. Not to say that it can't scare you, because I've been jump scared by it. Just like random special infected.
Yeah.
That you couldn't hear them, but all of a sudden you're pounced.
Yeah.
Or all of a sudden you're being wrapped up like, oh, fuck, I didn't even know you were there. You dirty bastard. It's like being like snuck up on by somebody with a fucking, like, I don't know, a power missile on Twisted Metal or some shit.
I was going to mention Twisted Metal too. It's not a scary game, but definitely a horror atmosphere.
It's a dark game. Like the further they went along, like, the character development that they tried to instill for some of those characters in Twisted Metal, like, God, dude, there's no happiness in any of this. This is all like, yet again, hopelessness. All these people are competing to get one wish granted from this twisted motherfucker named Calypso,
who always ends up giving you your wish in some fucked up way.
Yeah, he will give you your wish, but in the exact worst way imaginable.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't remember. One of them was probably the most prominent one that sticks out in my head is Twisted Metal Black, because that's when they started actually fucking with the characters a little bit. Was, I think the character Outlaw was accidentally had killed a kid like in a sniping like a hostage situation, and shot the kid by accident instead of the person. But he got his wish to redo it and undo what he had done. And he ends up shooting the right person, but realized there was a second person that was watching him.
Yeah.
He shot that person, but he ended up getting killed.
Right.
All the people in Twisted Metal Black are in asylums. That's where their stories are being told. Fucking Mr. Grimm, the guy who he always had a skeleton head in the previous games, but in that version of the game, it was a man who wore a skeleton face over his own face.
Yes.
And it was his friend who he ate while I guess they were being held as POWs in war.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and he had flashbacks of like his eyes and like guts laying there, and it's like, yeah.
Oh my god! Do you want to play one of these?
Sure. Let's
want to do the outlaw one?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll watch Outlaw Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah, I love these, man.
2 years I'd been locked away. Not a day went by I didn't pray to God. But I knew even He wouldn't forgive me for what I'd done. See, God only has time for those who deserve His mercy. I just didn't qualify.
So much despair.
But then one day I had this visitor. I knew Calypso by reputation.
Calypso's an ugly motherfucker, too.
Got uglier as each game progressed. He used to have long, beautiful, flowing hair.
Yeah.
He said if I want,
also had my favorite vehicle to use on Twisted Metal 4 was Calypso's.
He drove like a big ass vehicle, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
How could he have known?
He dropped the teddy bear at Outlaw's
Calypso
feet.
said if I won the game, I'd get a chance to undo
the teddy bear that belonged to the little kid that he shot by accident.
Redemption. That's a big thing to offer a man without a hope in hell.
And that was some foreshadowing right there. He showed him with his mouth agape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was showing like the result of Calypso's wish being granted to him early. That was him being shot. Now the middle part of Twisted Metal Black cutscenes, it was always like after you defeated Minion.
Yeah.
That's why it always shows the tank blowing up.
Right.
So, I mean, like for the audio listeners, I apologize, but you're getting some weird ambiance sound and dialogue that's not us.
I'd endured 1,000 nights and days before.
Be sure to join us on the YouTube channel if you're listening to audio only.
Yeah, boy.
It happened a couple of years back. We were out across from the Northside Apartments.
You can get on this video game chat witness.
Activity in the building. When we got there, we found some kind of doomsday cult had set up shop inside.
Click that bell, motherfucker.
These guys were real psychos, desperate as hell, holed up like rats in a cage.
Dude, this is serious.
But now their little hideaway was a kill zone.
He's watching this fucking terrorist guy through the window.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. People probably are watching this like, are you guys taking this serious? I mean, it's pretty cool.
Shit. He's getting his chance.
Take it.
Trying to make a difference. And for what? So that we could arrest these scum suckers and watch them walk free the same afternoon?
Fuck yeah, scum suckers for
My
life.
rage got the better of me. I couldn't focus. I wanted to send these killers to hell where they belong.
That's right.
Right.
Here's his opportunity, baby.
I got them.
You got him.
But not before I made the biggest mistake of my life. I'd let my emotions cloud my judgment. It cost me, but it cost someone else even more. Oh my God.
Oh, he's not corrected
What
it
had
yet.
I done? Those people were dead, and it was all my fault. There was only one way out.
Oh my God. Fuck.
Jesus
But
Christ.
that way was closed. I was going to have to live with it for the rest of my life, and nothing I could do would ever take away the pain. Until now.
Oh, that was literally the cutscene after he defeated Minion. That's the middle cutscene of this story.
It's just showing you what happened that he's wanting to correct.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to kill a terrorist, I guess, and accidentally shot a
mother and child. Yeah. because he had fired too much and he wanted to kill himself. He put the gun in his mouth and he's like, no. Living with this shit, yo. Living with it.
So now as Twisted Metal
I
goes,
had won the contest. Now it was time to see if the rumors were true.
Grant me my wish, bald genie.
Did Calypso really have the power to give me a second chance? He asked if I really wanted a second chance. If I understood the risks. But I wasn't going to screw up twice.
It's like Jigsaw before Jigsaw.
yeah, he's a fucked up looking individual, Calypso.
Surprised there was never a Twisted Metal movie.
Right, there should be.
There's a concept there.
Yeah, absolutely. Twisted Metal is so recognizable because of Sweet Tooth.
His story's fucked up.
And to myself.
I thought about playing his.
Open fire! Shoot to kill!
So he's getting his second chance.
Bullet found the right target this time. That dirtbag went down like a puppet with his strings cut.
Terrorist is down. Terrorist is down. Great shooting, Agent. Second team, move it.
But it wasn't over. Not until I knew those people were safe. They were shaken but alive. Calypso had done it. I never thought it could be
All
like...
units, target is not down. Target is still hot.
Jesus.
God
He thought he
damn.
had him killed. Guy wasn't dead.
I was so close.
Raised his gun up after from his slump to
making it
blast him in the
right.
face.
Agent Stone, report in. Are you hit?
Damn.
It's such an ambiance to Twisted Metal Black, dude. Like,
beautiful.
I think it was the best in the franchise.
For sure.
I think-
Absolutely.
Like, because, oh, fuck, dude, could you imagine if you had, like, the Saw writers who created those traps also working on, like, these types of story backgrounds for these characters on top of the people that already were working with them in the past? I feel like that would be a fucking sick team.
Also, dude, like, as a movie, Twisted Metal, you would know that only one of these characters is going to make it. You'd get to know all their backstories, but only one can have that wish.
And all these stories are so dark and morbid and just awful. I mean, Twisted Metal... Fuck, Sweet Tooth was a murderer. He was a serial killer. whom had his head set ablaze by a priest to stop his fucking bloodlust ridden urges to kill people.
Do you think he was a juggalo?
He probably was, man. He probably listened to my axe way too many times. My axe is my body.
God. That's one of the top songs of theirs on Spotify, by the way.
I believe that. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, what do you think, Jimothy? We've been going an hour and 11 minutes.
Well, I think that's totally fine, man. I think we can. Oh God, I forgot we even had that. We can close out on this if you would like.
Let's close out.
Obey the Walrus. This is kind of it's like a creepypasta type of thing. I saw this many years ago. I don't really remember much about it, but I just know it's supposed to give you the heebie-jeebies, and it's not. I mean, like, I would say it's probably more creepy than was it? Don't hug me or something. I'm scared or
No, that was like some weird.
It was like a puppet thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Or don't touch me. I'm scared. Something like whatever. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
All right.
Obey the Walrus. Damn it.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
I love it. Oh, Jesus Christ. No! Damn it! What is happening? I forgot. I had literally forgot what this video even consisted of. I just remember the title.
Oh man. Why? Why does this fucking feeling exist?
This is like Ricky Berwick's lover. I don't know. It looks like she has the same disease that Ricky Berwick has. I may be
Who's
dead
Ricky
wrong.
Berwick?
Ricky Berwick? Ricky Berwick, depending who you ask, he's either like the world's most Oh no!
Oh no, what a way to end the show.
God damn it, Curse Cake! Obey the fucking walrus.
Woo! You're about to get robbed!